Hi everyone, this is Michael, Discover Powered Paragliding, U.S. importer for Adventure Paramotor. We're very excited today to receive the very first shipment in of the Moster Dual Start 185. Today we're going to bring you along with us as we unbox a crate of 5 motors here. They're mounted on the Adventure Pluma carbon fiber. We'll do some assembly video, we'll do some weights, first startups, just anything else that we can to show our product to you. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out and contact us at 217-779-6647 or via email at discoverppg@yahoo.com. First thing we're going to start off with will be the Kevlar backing plate that protects the pilot from the motor. This is very simple to install. There's a right way and a wrong way to put this on. It's kind of pretty self-explanatory. This here should match the contour of the grip handle here. Just push it on nice and secure to the Velcro. And it makes it easy access if you ever need to get in there to work on the motor or whatever. Otherwise, it protects the pilot also. Next step we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and we'll partially install the harness. The harnesses are really nice, very simple to put on. They got these nice buckles. All you got to do is just clip it onto the paramotor frame. Click each side and just make sure they're nice and secure. And get your harness, make sure everything looks straight, nothing's twisted. You do have these side tubes on the harness. We'll wait and we'll install those at a later date when we're actually tightening and knitting it. So just for now, we'll leave these loose and we'll go ahead and we'll move on to installing the arms onto the harness. So install the arms on the harness. Got the bolt here on the end. We'll go ahead and we'll unscrew. Should be a lock washer and a flat washer. Keep hold of that. The harness has a loop here in the front. It's got a black loop and a red loop. The red loop is designed for short pilots, less than 5'6" tall. If you're taller, you can go with the black loop. Very simple, explanatory. Just pick it up, make sure the strap is straight all the way up. Just bring your arm up. And that just slips right over the end of the arm, and then we'll put our bolt, flat washer, and lock washer back on. Finger tighten that for now, and then I'll go ahead and I'll move to this other side and get it secured. I'll bring the arm up so it's straight, and screw the bolt here. Make sure the strap is straight all the way up. Hook it on, and we'll put the bolt, flat washer, and lock washer back on. Tighten these back up finger tight. All right, now these, there is a torque spec for these, which is 16 Newton meter, which is like 142 inch-pounds. So we'll go ahead and torque those. Make sure you got a good torque wrench, inch-pound torque wrench. Very crucial engine maintenance. I went ahead and I got mine preset. We'll go ahead and we'll tighten this up. When you use a torque wrench, always make sure you're holding down here on the handle and not up here on the head. That way it operates properly. Tighten that until I hear that click, and then I'll go ahead and I'll do the other side. When it starts getting tight, I'll slow down and I'll wait for the click. As soon as you hear that click, you want to stop right away. Double check this side one more time. All right. Then when you're storing your torque wrenches, you always want to make sure that you back off that spring. That way that spring stays accurate for you. Got the carabiner with the straps already installed on them. You got two hook-in points. You got a front one and a back one. on this design of this motor here. Basically, depends upon which motor you get, you know, how heavy it is, whatever, but generally the back hole, the one closest to the motor, is generally for pilots like 150, 155 pounds or less. Generally the front hole is usually for pilots greater than 155, 160 pounds. Very simple. Slide it through. And depends upon if you like a carabiner open to the inside or to the outside, which way you'll slide this in. I personally prefer to open to the inside. That way it's very easy for me to look down and I can see that my carabiner is for sure locked. I'll slide that in on each side. Now if you look at all your straps down here, you'll find a safety strap. Long straight lap strap with the loop on the end of it. We'll take this strap here, we'll run it through the weight shift arm and around the outside of the weight shift arm. I like to put the safety strap on first and then hook my carabiner up second. Now the safety strap's in between this main white strap on each side. It kind of pinches it in, holds it in place. Work it down, make sure everything's nice and neat. Safety strap's in the middle. Comes down, it runs through the weight shift arm and then down to the web here. It runs back to the tube on the side. And I'll repeat the step. Same step for those sides. Airbox out of plastic bag. Airbox has a safety strap on it. It's easier if you put the airbox on now because one of the tubes that go through the frame go through this sense of safety and it keeps this from going twist around back into the propeller. You can't put this on afterward, but then you got to undo the bolt, pull the strap around your tube here. So it's just easier to go ahead and do it now. You can do this with either a Phillips or a flathead screwdriver. You'll make sure you look down inside of your carburetor because there is a piece of foam down in there that just keeps any dirt, debris from being able to get down in there, or packing foam during shipping. And it's always good to look down there and make sure everything is nice and clean. I'll slip this on, make sure it's on all the way nice and secure. Take my screwdriver. Make sure your hose clamp is slid down. There's a little bevel there on the plastic. Make sure it's slid down to that and just secure it up nice and secure. Just wrist tight. Make sure she's nice and snug and not going to go nowhere. All right, now we're ready to start working on to doing the K-tube and the rods next. On your cage, you got 4 rods. You got 2 short ones, 2 longer ones. The 2 longer ones have this other little extra nipple on them, which that's for the pull start handle to mount to. So it's pretty simple which way it goes. There's a little red line on each one of these. That red line goes down to the frame. That's a witness mark for you while doing your pre-flights. You can see if your cage is, you know, being pulled apart somehow or whatever. That red line is lined up right at the edge of the Pluma center section frame. We'll slide those 2 top ones in. Same for the side. They got little red marks on them. Slide each side in. All right, now the next step is going to be, we're going to put this cross tube in here that supports your pull start handle. And this is set up to go on the right side of the paramotor. I like sliding this up a little bit on each side. Kind of get them worked in, get them started here. And as you get both sides started, and then you can bring them down both evenly together here. One side's got a stopper on it. Just slide that side down to the stopper. Make sure everything's tight. What I like to do here, you want to measure up and see how far up it is to the top of the stopper on this side. So we are 7 3/4 of an inch. Just want to double check that this side is 7 3/4, which is exactly where it's at right now. That way it doesn't want to pull the tubes up or tweak the hoop or the cage anyway. All right, so we've got our 4 tubes situated. We've got our pull start situated. Next, we're going to go ahead and install the ends onto the support tubes. Got 4 of them in a bag here. All 4 of them are identical, so it doesn't matter which one you do first. Pretty simple. This side here slides into the tube, of course, and then this side here is the side that your actually outer hoop slides over. There is a push button. You got to push in when you're sliding each section of the outer hoop together. Okay, and I'll slide all 4 of these onto the cage. 2. I'm going to start with the very bottom one. You want to make sure that you're on the front side of all these cage tubes. That's what supports your netting. Look at that. I'm going to slide that on, make sure it's slid all the way on down there. This top one, I'm going to leave it out. I'm not going to put it into this one here yet. All right. Now we'll go to the next one. Now it will slide onto the top of this one here, which all this is described in great detail in the owner's manual on the cage. As you see in the manual, it shows you step by step. It's got numbers going all the way around, showing you which one you hook in, where first. That way it shows you adventures. Once you got your netting done, then you can go ahead. You pull these foam blocks out from behind the weight shift arms. You want to make sure that you leave those in during this part of the assembly. That way the weight shift arm can't get back and hit the frame anywhere and scuff the weight shift arm up or scuff the frame or your motor or anything like that. So we go ahead and we'll take this foam block out on each side. Then you can just dispose of them however you want to. All right. This one here has the standard adventure throttle, which has the tach hour meter built into the throttle itself. You can get these in right or left hand throttle. Very nice. Slip-on adjustment here. Throttle, kill button on top, and then the start button is right there in the front, which very easy. One-handed operation. You can reach up, you hit start button with your pinky, kill button with your thumb. Got your throttle here. Otherwise, we do have an option of you can go with the chameleon throttle, either the V2 or the V3 of the chameleon throttle, right or left-handed. That's something you can specify when ordering if you want right or left-hand throttle, or if you'd like to upgrade to the chameleon throttle. The adventure throttle itself is a very nice throttle. It's secure everywhere, very neat and clean, very comfortable. On your harness too, this white tag is the strap that runs up to this buckle here. Once you put the motor on your back, you want to cinch those both down on both sides, and that'll lift that motor up and pull it against your back, so it makes the motor feel like it is. Versus if you leave these loose, you got that motor hanging down lower, farther off your back, and it makes it feel like it's heavier. So every time you put your motor on, remember to cinch these up on each side, and that'll pull that motor up tight and secure to you. Got your chest strap, goes across your chest, keeps the shoulder pad from wanting to slide off. It's buckled down here, which this is a nice safety feature on the harness. Not only has your belly strap that comes across, but it's got the strap comes up. It's a secondary safety strap for your leg strap, just in case you did forget to put your leg straps on. This here will still lift you up and support you on takeoff if you accidentally forgot to put your leg straps on. So it's a nice, great safety feature. Of course, then you have your 2 leg straps down here on the bottom. On the harnesses, you can get 2 different size seat boards. This one here is a large, extra large, for guys 5'10" and taller. We recommend going with the large, extra large seat board. That gives you more support out here on your leg. shorter guys, then we got a shorter seat board to accommodate for you guys. Very easy to change out. It just unzips, take it off, put the right size on. The harness is also adjustable in the back here. You can zip the harness up, make it a small medium harness, or you can unzip it, it makes it a medium large harness. Very easy to adjust. All that described in great detail in the manual itself. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and we'll jump around to the back side and install the propeller. We're going to install the propeller, and then we'll go ahead and we'll show you how to install it properly, torque bolts, and all that stuff. Another thing to check too, the exhaust. They always got to plug inside the outlet on the exhaust pipe, so always double check, make sure you just pull that out also. All right, first we'll get our prop plate and bolts out. You have 6 bolts with 6 flat washers on them, all the same length. Prop spacer and a prop plate. You have a choice when you get your motor if you want a helix prop or an E-prop. This customer here went with the helix 2-blade carbon fiber prop, 130 centimeter, 51-inch propeller. Slide these together until all the holes line up. Go and I'll slide the prop spacer on the back side. It's got a little nipple on it. I'll make sure that slides into the center of the prop. Turn it till my holes line up. I'll install my prop plate. I usually will put a couple bolts in just to start out with, just to kind of get everything lined up. All right, got 2 bolts all the way through. Make sure, that way I can double check, make sure everything's lined up, make sure everything's seated properly against the propeller. Go ahead and line it up on the motor. Start out with, I'll get all my bolts just started finger tight. Should not have to force them in. You'll just jiggle them a little bit as you're pushing them in and they'll slide right in and kind of get them all started here. I go all the way around before I start tightening any of them up. I'll get them all started first. All right, got them all started. Now I'm going to run them in finger tight, third outlet here. All right, I'll grab the torque wrench again. The prop bolts on the Moster 185 are 105 inch-pounds. Good, and we'll set that. Always make sure you get a good torque wrench, so you don't want to buy a cheap one from Harbor Freight. You know, it's very important all these bolts are torqued properly. You know, it's keeping your butt up in there, so definitely, you know, spend 80 bucks on a good one versus spending 25, 30 bucks at Harbor Freight for one that's more than likely not accurate. All right, 105 inch-pounds. Now I like to kind of just start going around in the start pattern. I don't take them all the way tight yet. I just start running around, kind of just get them all snug first, and then I'll go through and then I'll set the torque on the rest of them from there. All right, that's my last one, and I'm tightening it up here. Now I'll go ahead and I'll tighten this one down. I'll make sure I hold out the very end of it. I'll nice and gently tighten it, and as soon as I hear the click, I'll go ahead and I'll stop. Go ahead and stop. Move on to my next one. Remember, in the start pattern. Stop. All right, that was my last one. Now I'll go ahead and I'll run back through again just to double check, make sure that everything is still torque tight. Usually it clicks right. It should click right away, so you know, don't get aggressive with it. Just nice and gently pull down. And if it clicks, that way you can stop right away. All right, spin your propeller, make sure it spins nice and freely. Shouldn't be any sounds, no grinding. Propeller should have clearance, everywhere, all the way around. Should be nice and even. Alrighty. Very important to read the owner's manual on the motor, on the proper braking technique. To start out with, like the first 4 hours, we're going to run a fuel oil mixture of 33:1. After we go through those first 4 or 5 hours, well then we'll go and we'll switch it to 40:1 mixture, and that's what this motor will stay at. Also make sure to use a fully synthetic 2-cycle oil. Don't go cheap on your oil, because that's what's lubricating everything inside your motor. Like I say again, I can't stress the importance of make sure that you follow all the maintenance techniques, the proper braking procedure. Otherwise, you can void your warranty. Same with the carburetor. This motor's been pre-run at factory. Everything's pretty much preset on it. You might have to do just a little bit of tweaking on it, but for the most part, it should be pretty much set up. Important to read your manual before you get started running your motor at all, because there is, on the high setting, there is tape marking the factory setting. If that tape is broke, it will void your warranty on the high setting. So just make sure you read the manual, follow all instructions. That way this motor will last you for a long time, get many good hours of use out of it. Another little neat feature of the Adventure, when you unscrew your cap and pull your line out instead of letting this lay on the ground or whatever, they got a nice little place here. It looks like a little rubber inlet. You take this and it slides right in. That way it keeps this off the ground while you're fueling your motor. Keeps everything nice, neat, and clean. Remember, try to keep your fuel clean as possible. That prevent any maintenance issues from down the road. All right, when you go to start your motor for the first time, when you go to fly it, there's a button on the carburetor. You push in very gently. You push in just a very small, thin diaphragm. Button on the front of the carburetor, you push and hold that in. Then you push the primer button here that's mounted onto the frame. And I'll push that primer button until I get the fuel. I can watch the fuel on here until I get the fuel to the carburetor. So I get the fuel all the way to the carburetor, and I'll give it just like one, maybe 2 squeezes more of fuel once I get it there. You just have to see what your motor likes. Each motor's a little bit different. Once you get that figured out, you should be able to get to where that motor, it should fire right up very easily. First time, every time for you. Looks good. Hold the button in and pushing the primer button fast. Fuel's almost carburetor. All right, fuel's to the carburetor. And give her just one more squeeze. All right, so we've got the motor primed, at least what we think should be primed. Say very first startup, you might have to give it a few more squirts or whatever. You have to see once you get it primed, get the motor on your back, then try starting it. So we'll go ahead and drop the top of the harness down here. Just squeeze the buckle and drop it down. And go ahead and we'll hook the battery up. Make sure your master switch is turned to the O, which is off. We'll click this back up here. Double check, make sure those are both secured properly. Now we're ready to go ahead and we'll throw it on our back, and we'll go ahead and we'll get that motor fired up. Remember, you always want to start these motors on your back. It's always too dangerous to start these on the ground. Even though you might double check, triple check your throttle, but it's always safe to start this motor while it's on your back. All right, now we're gonna start the motor up. I'm gonna reach back, put my switch to on, throttle on my hand, double check, make sure the throttle is snapping back. Go ahead and hit the start button, clipper out. Fire right up. I like my idle be around 2400, where I like the Moster 185 to be idling at. So make sure you get your motor warmed up all the way first before you start adjusting the idle on it. Run the throttle cable over top your arm, then you can't get back into the propeller down here. Super comfortable, moves everywhere with you. Really like this throttle. It's got the built-in tach hour meter on it. Runs good. Let's do one more startup. Clear prop. Super easy.
Clap.
We're going to demonstrate a weight shift only turn. Hands are not on any of the brake toggles or tip steering. He's going to do weight shift only with the 3D steering on the weight shift arms. That is weight shift only turns. Most responsive weight shift I've ever seen. Still weight shift only turned with the 3D arms on the Adventure Pluma. That is unreal. All good things must come to an end. Land like a butterfly, sting like a bee. How was it?
Amazing. Really smooth, really quiet motor.